Rooster, beam me up. Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing, and hit that notification bell and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for stopping by, having this cup of coffee with me. I hope all is well with you. And also, in all seriousness, if you're feeling alone, please come to the channel, watch some stuff, and it could just be a good safe space of a community for you. You can watch some things just to bring to your attention, and so you don't have to feel like there's nobody there for you, because the content is being made for you. So with all that being said, this was on my recommendation page, Star Trek Unification 765874. It's a bunch of numbers, but we're going to watch it, and then after that we'll talk about Star Trek after. So let's get into this reaction. How to deal with death is the least important as how we deal with life. What a deep quote. I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand what's happening here. But it looks compelling though. What a beautiful cityscape of the 23rd century! Yo, this is beautiful fucking visuals. Know what's happening, but I'm gonna keep watching. I'm Captain James Tiberius Kirk of the USS Enterprise. What beautiful deepfake of Captain Kirk. This is where cinema is heading. Yo, isn't William Shatner like 95 and he still looks amazing? He's 95 and he looks 65, 70. That's like body goals. That is Star Trek The Next Generation uniforms. Yo, I'm gonna talk about it in the discussion, but fully, I'm not a Trekkie. I'm just a casual fan. Yo, if there's any like the Saturn Awards or, you know, any YouTube awards, something in the internet space, like this needs an award for visual effects for sure. Fire! Fire! Like having archive footage and digital footage, what do you call it? Deep faking? Having Kirk going through his generations, wild.
Spock said. And if Genesis is indeed life from death, I must return to this place again.
Yo, is this after Generations? Is this taking place like when he decided to die? Like his character died, spoiler alert. And is this like a intermediary film talking about his transition to the afterlife? Because if this is fantastic work. Spock! You shall forever and always be my friend. This, like, out of like, I'm gonna say like Gilgamesh and Enki and like David and Jonathan and I don't know, Terminator and John Connor, like this is a beautiful bromance. Obi-Wan and Anakin, like Spock and Kirk, beautiful bromance. Like throughout like storytelling literature or mediums that we had. I have a beautiful bromance with Couchgod. I'ma just say that. He gonna be mad that I said that too. What is this? What is this? Is this two friends? Oh my god. Oh my god. Last moments. The sunrise. This is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not crying. You're crying. Oh my god. Seven 65874 Unification. For Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy is the original Spock for those who don't know. Woo! Sam Witwer was in here? Who did he play? Was he the alien? Wow. And then having the mulatto music, I apologize. The melodic, the melodic music. Ooh, in the fields. Bruh, his son and William Shatner produced this. And Leonard Nimoy's family, I don't know who Susan is to him. daughter, wife, I don't know, but that's crazy. Shout out to everybody doing it. This is beautiful. Shout out to Kirk. Oh my God. Oh, Sam Witwer. He played a version of Kirk. Wow. This was amazing. Shout out to everybody in the production team making this. Okay. Man, that was such a beautiful short film made with passion, and it was just great that everyone was able to find it, and it is unlisted. So what happened was the trailer was, or the teaser trailer was recommended to me, right? Like on my recommendations. And then after that, there was like a link to it. So I clicked on that. So that's why we ended up watching it. But for me, I am not a Trekkie. I don't have a Trek. Let me tell you my Star Trek history, since we're visiting with one another. So my Star Trek history is this. My mom watched all of Star Trek. So while growing up, like that was her escapism. That, like, you know how like most parents have, like, I have to watch my stories, and you know some people watch soap operas, or others was watching Matlock or Murder, She Wrote, things like that. Maybe even some sitcoms, Roseanne or whatever. My mom was watching Star Trek. That was her escapism. That was her time to get to her, and it was bonding and having, you know, that connection with those characters. And so with all the iterations, so like she would watch the reruns with Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. She would watch those. She was a faithful watcher of me growing up, or while I was growing up. She would watch The Next Generation. As I got older, the other two renditions of Star Wars, of Deep Space Nine, or Star Trek, excuse me. Don't come for me. It was a slip of the tongue. Don't come for me. I know what I'm talking about. But Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So she also watched that. So I got like just from an earshot away of knowing what stuff is, and she took me to the movies with her to watch Generations. We seen Generations in the theater and First Contact. So I saw those in the theater, and I'm definitely aging myself. I try not to. I try to be like an immortal, universal, timeless being, but sometimes we just got time marks of measures, and we saw those movies in the theater. And you know, I saw it, but it's not my style at the time. This is the point that I'm trying to make. All of this is gonna make sense in a moment. So at the time, I was like, yo, Star Trek is boring. They're just people chilling on the ship, having these philosophical conversations. Sometimes there's a laser shootout here and there, but there's no clashes like lightsabers. Like, I can't get busy with that. I don't really like that. That's not, you know, what I could get with. That was my whole standpoint, right? But but I knew, just even in pop culture, how big Star Trek was as a fixture. You know, we got the phrase of, you know, beam me up, Scotty, right? So that's coming out of Star Trek. And Couchgod did not know that till we brought that to his attention. And the thing is that brought us, myself, Couchgod, into any of that, of knowing just the minor parts of Star Trek. I am the generation for it. Like, I am the new generation, the new iteration, because there is, I don't know, the critical drinker, Nerdrotic, what's his name, Robert Meyer Burnett. There's these group of people who are so attached to the old Star Trek that new Star Trek came along, and now there is a division between the fans, right? And I guess that's happening, and I see it as a generational thing. And for me, fully and for the most part, 2009, J.J. Abrams, Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, that Star Trek, like, shot adrenaline into me to be part of the fandom. Everything about that first movie, the music, the action, and then at the time when it was getting made and getting announced, because the movie went through a lot of changes, Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody was going to be Spock. Matt Damon was going to be Captain Kirk, and it was going to be a reboot, and I was looking forward to that because I was definitely into movie blogs and movie news at the time. Not the movie blog, but like movie blogs, movie web, Screen Rant, like all of that. Like I was reading that type of stuff. IMDb, I was reading those news outlets to know about, just news coming out. So that was like in development. But then 2009 dropped, and the trailer dropped, and they announced Chris Pine, and I knew Chris Pine from expletive, bang, 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 Smoking Aces.
Here are the words the New York Times uses to describe Smoking Aces. Blam, blam, blam. Expletive, expletive, plot twist, FBI, expletive, blam, 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 roll credits.
I remember him from Smoking Aces, and his role was really funny, and that was like my first time being exposed to him. So when he got cast as Captain Kirk, and I know William Shatner, I was like, yo, this is a horrible casting choice. Like, what is this? This is going to ruin the franchise, da 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 da. And I wasn't even a fan. I had two friends of mine, Aaron and Joel. And with Aaron and Joel, they were hardcore Trekkies, right? So they knew all the lore and all of that, and they collected comic books, and they was just really into it. And the movie was coming out that particular year, and what we did as fans and friends, we was watching Enterprise, and Enterprise was my first time like watching serialized Star Trek, right? And we binged it. And we were renting from Blockbuster. I'm aging myself. So we was renting from Blockbuster the series, right? We was chipping in, or vice versa, when somebody would get a different DVD, switch out, blah, blah, blah. But we was watching that. And within watching that, I watched all of Enterprise, and we were thinking Enterprise was going to lead into Star Trek 2009. Soon as that movie starts, they switch off the timeline with Chris Hemsworth, right? They switch it out with Chris Hemsworth.
What is it?
It's a boy.
A boy? Tell me about it.
He's beautiful. George, you should be here.
Impact alert.
What are we gonna call him?
We could name him after your father.
Tiberius? You kidding me? No, that's the worst.
And then made a whole division timeline. And the only thing they mentioned was his dog in that movie.
Range of transporting something like a grapefruit was limited to about 100 miles. I told him that I could not only beam a grapefruit from one planet to the adjacent planet in the same system, which is easy, by the way, I could do it with a life form. So, I tested it on Admiral Archer's prize beagle.
Well, I know that dog. What happened to it?
I'll tell you when it reappears. I don't know. I do feel guilty.
Well, I mean, the captain from the show was Captain Archer, and the only thing they do was mention his dog from that movie, from that show, is the only mention. And I was so mad because I was like, I spent all this time getting to know this young Enterprise crew, and I'm not even a fan of Star Trek like that. So now I have this encyclopedia knowledge of the show Enterprise, and I had no need for it. But that was like my foray into Star Trek, but it was what brought me to become a Star Trek fan. Yeah, just those new movies, those three with Chris Pine, and I know that it was Justin Lin who directed the third movie, and Idris Elba was the villain. But all three of those movies, I'm the audience for it. That brought a new fan, a new generation into knowing Star Trek. And there has been this thing against diversity in storytelling, and there's this thing about being against like anything that's not a protagonist. And they always go to Ripley or Princess Leia, which are fine female characters, and I love Wonder Woman and I love Catwoman as well. I have no problem with lead female adequate characters. But the thing is this, I like Michael Burnham. I like Michael Burnham. I did felt like she was a Mary Sue at times. but I felt like she was an anchor to the storytelling of that show. And then me having a base of knowing other characters from just to know that there are other characters from other mediums, a Spock and Kirk and her involvement with that, and knowing about Starfleet and all of those things, I loved it. I love Strange New Worlds. I think Strange New Worlds is captivating, amazing television, and great Star Trek. I hated Picard, I hated it. I thought that did a disservice. I did not watch the last season because I got thrown off from the first season. But I do like Patrick Stewart. I do like Jean-Luc. Those are the things that I know, and it comes from an attachment of just growing up with him. But I wasn't too invested into Star Trek, so when they brought it back around, I think that was the lesser out of the new shows. And the trailer for Section 31 dropped. I know all about the timeline and everything about that, and I'm excited for that, especially with Ghost being in that show or being in that production. I don't know if it's a show or a movie or a miniseries. I don't know what it is, but that Section 31 is coming out. Like, I'm cool with Section 31 coming out. And this is for people who know that are in the Star. I don't feel like explaining what that is, and I don't want to do a reaction to it either. But yeah, I am that new generation of Star Trek. So I'm actually quite thankful for the new iteration to allow me to become part of the fandom. Even though I'm a casual fan, I'm not hardcore into it. I don't know how to speak Klingon. I don't know different sectors of the galaxy. I don't know certain political affiliations. Like, I'm not that deep into the lore, but when it comes to the storytelling and the main characters and certain things in the forefront, I enjoy it a lot. And I'm so happy to now be included. And then with all this being said, this production of knowing these figures and me seeing Generations in the theater, which was a blending of the Next Generation and the OG cast, having Captain Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard together, and then saying goodbye to Leonard Nimoy, and having his character, and then whatever this afterlife situation was, it was just a beautiful amalgamation of just like great concepts, of like beautiful things for fans and for the sake of storytelling, and I thought it was great. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you think of this and your thoughts about Star Trek, and thank you for taking this time out to visit with me and have this conversation. Also, this video was sponsored by Universal Success. Universal Success is my venture. Universal Success is my company. Just launched it. Everything is on sale through the holidays. Get some nice, good clothing for you and your family and help support the channel. And if you cannot support in that way, please like, share, comment, and subscribe so we could bring more like-minded ones to the community so that we'll be able to talk about the things that we love. With all that being said, check out what video is next. There was a Batman Beyond reaction that I did good at, that I enjoyed a lot to do. Just help us grow out the channel. But I'm gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture, have a fantastic day, because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.
Mouth on top, Kung Fu, Bruce Lee chop, moon rocks, go Red Sox, tryna go far like Boondocks, headshot, blunt stay high, talking shit, gotta pull up on they block, you fraud, I'm Couchgod, know you got a tax like a state charge, safe house, safe house, safe house, safe house.